In this presentation, we will take a look at multiple choice questions related to flexible budgets and standard costs, going through the questions and then practicing test taking skills with them. First question. A budget based on several different levels of activity is A. Rolling budget, B. Production budget, C. Static budget, D. Movable budget, or E. Flexible budget. Let's go through this again using the process of elimination. A budget based on several different levels of activity is either a rolling budget. Rolling budget, that sounds like it's kind of moving and we're to have different levels of activity, so that seems kind of like it could be reasonable. B says production budget. Now we're talking about a budget based on several different levels. Maybe we might say production budget. C says static budget. And that kind of indicates that something's not moving. It's kind of staying the same. So I would think it's not C. And then D says movable budget. And that kind of implies movement as well. And we're having different levels. So maybe D. And then E says a flexible budget. Again, that sounds kind of reasonable. It has movement. And so we'll keep E. Let's go through this again. A budget based on several different levels of activity is either a rolling budget, B. Production budget, D. Movable budget, or E. Flexible budget. Now, of those, A's sounds it should sound a little possibly strange. The rolling budget has to do with the timing, how far out we roll it into the future, not different levels of activity. B is the production budget, which is kind of a specific point budget. So it's actually, that's going to be at one component. It's not B. D and E, movable or flexible. And of those two, the one that should sound the most familiar is a flexible budget. So the main kind of budgets we're thinking about is a static, fixed budget versus the flexible type of budget, which has that movement. And so the final answer will be E. A budget based on several different levels of activity is E. Flexible budget. Next question. Static budget is also called A. Standard budget, B. Flexible budget, C. Fixed budget, D. Variable budget, or E. Master budget. Let's go through this again using the process of elimination. Static budget is also called either A. Standard budget, so a static or a standard budget could possibly be, B. Flexible budget, and that implies some kind of movement again, some kind of flexibility, some type of movement. It doesn't seem like it would be a flexible budget. C says a fixed budget. And again, that seems kind of static, like it's not moving, so it seems like that could be a static type budget. D says variable budget, and again, that implies some type of movement, so I don't think it's going to be variable. E says master budget, and we might think, well, maybe a master budget could be a static budget, so I'll keep that one for now. A, C, and E, let's go through it again. Static budget is also called A, standard budget, or C, a fixed budget, or E, a master budget. Now, of those three, the last one, a master budget, is going to be the overarching budget that we basically put together, and it doesn't necessarily need to be the static type budget, so it's actually not E. And then we have the standard budget or the fixed budget, and those both sound kind of reasonable, but the static is implying the fixed budget, the one that's going to be fixed. It's going to assume a certain level of production. So that's the term we typically would use. So final answer, static budget is also called C, fixed budget.